Miss I love saying the N-word 5 billion times on podcast? You want to link up with her? You're stupid. Production, please. Let's never do that ever again.
Hit it, DJ.
Love Island USA season 7 just ended, officially ended, reunion and all. So I want to kind of talk about how I felt about the season, and I want to do that in a really interesting way with doing a little tier ranking, y'all. I have 5 different categories. I actually can't read what's going on, so let me get my glasses. Is it always the positive one in red and then negative one in green? Shouldn't it be the other way around? I don't care. Anyway, so for my lowest ranking Islanders, we're going to have the pack your bags. Above that's going to be not feeling you. I feel like these are pretty self-explanatory, right? You were close. Middle's you were close. You was I. You was cool. You was cool. I didn't hate you, but I didn't really love you, you know? And then my top 4 is going to be for people who I liked. And then let's do my winners at the top because you're my winners, you know? So we have every single Islander, every single Islander from this season. Now Charlie, he did nothing for me. I am so sorry. So I'm gonna have to put you at pack your bags because why was I watching you, right? Next we have Sierra. Now, while she was on the show, did I think she was really that entertaining? She was okay. She was cute. I don't think I really connected with her that well, actually, either on the show or off the show, you know. She's never was somebody who I really resonated with, right? She wasn't somebody who I hated, but I'm just girl, you weren't really doing anything for me. I'm so sorry. So I'm gonna put you at pack your bags as well because at this point, why were you on my screen? No offense, right? So now we have Taylor. Taylor, he is somebody who I didn't really hate. Actually, I was a little bit unpleased with how you were treating Nicolandria or how it was perceived on the show. Nicolandria has said in interviews that she felt like he was, you know, trying and putting in effort. But at the reunion, Nicolandria brought up that he wasn't physically attracted to her. And so, I don't know, you're kind of wasting my time. So I'm gonna put you above not feeling you. Yeah, I'm putting you above not feeling you, actually. Nick, I'm gonna put you in the middle. Now, I know a lot of people love Nick. I feel like the only reason as to why people really love Nick is because he's with Nicolandria, right? And I don't know. I feel like this week I can just think about you and your couple, even though it's kind of the point of Love Island, right? I can think about you as a person in general. You were there. Were you must-see TV, in my opinion? Not really. I'm gonna say it right there. Until you got with Nicolandria, I didn't really care. Actually, I didn't even really care for Nicolandria because I never really cared for Nick that much. He wasn't bad, but it's you're not really giving in my opinion, right? I don't know. And this whole thing of how he's acting in regards to Nicolandria, I feel like he's laying it on a little too much for me. I don't know. I don't think I really hate this idea of people's brands being a couple, but not only is his brand being Nicolandria at this point, it's something about the fact that Nicolandria is Nicolandria, right? I don't feel like her brand is really Nicolandria. It's really Nicolandria, but he's oh, I'm loving this Nicolandria thing or whatever, right? I guess when people love that and they end up kind of gravitating towards him because he does make more content. He's out more in the public than Nicolandria, right? But I just feel from what I've seen, it is it almost leaves a bad taste in my mouth because I'm I don't know. It's because she's not doing it. Why are you laying it on so thick? Why can't you just be Nick right now, you know? Why can't we get to know Nick, but it's we're knowing Nicolandria? I feel the couple, the ship that y'all had is really saving him, right? If it wasn't for Nicolandria, would we be talking about Nick right now? No. I'm not going to speak too much on that, but I do feel there's kind of a fetishization aspect to the relationship, which I just don't like seeing. And this is not really on, because of Nicolandria, it's because of the fans and the stands and everything, right? And this whole pasta and lobster thing, I'm just getting tired of it. So now we have Ace, and I think Ace is okay. I don't think he does anything for me. Is he manipulative? Yes. Conniving? Quite a bit. After the show, I think he's been okay, he's been cool. I don't know how long the Shelly and Ace thing is gonna last. What did they say, that they're in love with another couple? Maybe let's not be confusing. Actually. I think that could really confuse people, and I don't know if people are really in the mood to be confused right now, you know? Either be in love, be a couple, or don't, right? And I understand this age gap thing, but either make it work or don't make it work. But honestly, Ace gives me a guy who wants to be with somebody who is his age. Just saying. I'm gonna put you in, you were close. Actually, I don't know if I like the idea of calling it you were close because it makes me feel I actually was close to liking these people. I don't know if I was close to liking you like that. I don't know. I'm too lazy to change it. Jeremiah, after watching the reunion, I forgot that the first part of the season happened, right? He did love bomb Huda. And then the whole thing of him being well, what's the definition of being a love bomber? Lame. I'm so sorry. Like, he just doesn't do anything for me, right? And it's like, yeah, like Jeremiah isn't ugly. So are a lot of these people, right? They're not ugly. So at this point, when everybody's attractive, it's like, okay, what are we doing these people all on? So we gotta do your character. And your character was kind of lame. I'm lame, and I'm so sorry, but just seeing him like at the villa, seeing him out of the villa, like it just really reminds me of how lame Jeremiah really is. And I feel like no one is really talking about this. He is like super duper lame. I'm gonna put you in You Were Close, but honestly, am I liking the You Were Close people so much? Like, next but these other two guys, I wasn't really. Originally, there was a 6 category. I'm low-key kind of missing that right now. Next, we have Yulissa, and just so you know where Yulissa is going, right? Didn't have that much impact. I wondered if they edited her out of the episode, right? Because I didn't even realize she was really gone from the show until like, maybe like episode 3. I was like, wait, something's missing. Actually, I wasn't even feeling like that. I just remember that people on Twitter were talking about it. And so I'm like, oh yeah, that girl's not there no more. So I'm gonna put you in Pick a Bags Girl, because why were you even there, honestly? I actually want to talk about Yulissa a little bit more. I do feel like seeing her out of the villa has been incredibly irritating. The way she has tried to make her being on Love Island her personality for the duration of the show. Keep in mind, you were only there for like an episode and a half. Is incredibly irritating, right? It's incredibly irritating that your bio was about Love Island. You can't make a post about Love Island, and then you're linking up with bombshells. And out of all the bombshells, she chose one of the most corniest ones. But let's talk about that later, okay? When we get to that Islander. But I'm like, girl, we don't care. At least you're trying to get your following, but like, girl, please shut up. Like, I'm just getting tired of seeing your face, girl. So now we have Nicolandria, and I'm gonna put her out my winners because I actually do like tuning into Nicolandria. I think she's incredibly gorgeous. I think she's smart. I think she's entertaining. I see a lot of star potential of Nicolandria. Okay, I do like me some Nicolandria. Also, now that I think about her trying to think that she could be a little country girl. Girl, no, you're meant for glam Hollywood. You want to be a farmer's wife, ride on horses, no shit to Clark, but it's like, girl, that's not what we want you to be, girl. We want you to be it, girl. She's the Southern Belle at the end of the day. Maybe she don't want to be it, y'all. And you know what? I get that, but we want to see you be it, girl. So be a girl, please. Thank you. So now we have Huda. I'm not the biggest fan of Huda. You know, people are, and you know, I love that they were able to connect with her. I personally did not really connect with her like that. She'll ended up showing the reunion. I'm so sorry. The whole thing about Chris, which honestly, I don't even care about the thing with Chris, Shelly, and Huda. I'm so sorry. It felt like one of those things where it was like, y'all were just like dragging it out because y'all had like, you know, a requirement of 2 hours. You're like, let's get this one in, which I think there could have been a lot better questions that we could have talked about. A lot of different situations, right? Like there was something with Clark and Landry that nobody addressed that I wish was addressed, but I'll get that out when we talked about Clark. I'm just like, why were you so focused on that, right? That is really irritating me that we're talking about that during the whole reunion. I was very surprised that they didn't bring up the whole Huda and Chris coercion situation that happened, you know, and was it the last episode or one of the last episodes of the season? I was interested that we didn't talk about that at all. I don't know, maybe Love Island didn't want to get too deep, right? Because there needs to be some serious conversations for what has happened to this show, what happened in the show, I should say. Her Jeremiah, irritating to watch. And then calling girls B words and then just being so problematic. I'm just like, girl, I don't know if I could take this. Also, the thing that I want to talk about at the end of the reunion, they were talking about, like, you know, how Nicolandria was, you know, getting a lot of like racist comments, you know, sent towards her. I feel like nobody talked about the fact that Huda tends to date black men and has, I believe, a half black child. You don't want to talk about racism. And she's like, well, I talked about it in like a little interview, right? But the thing is, like, it's different. I expect you to stand up for black issues if you have a half black child and you always date a black man and you claim to be like woke or whatever, right? I do think some bad things have been said about Huda, especially because she is like a Palestinian person, right? And we should have the opportunity to talk about that. Right? There definitely needs to be a conversation about how Huda has been treated in certain ways from the fans of the show because of her background and how people have been anti-Palestinian. But that is for you to leave that conversation, girl. Unless you're talking about her experience and you need to acknowledge that. And I'd be like, well, I experienced that too. Do you not realize what you're doing? Honestly, I don't want to get into it like too much in this video, but a lot of people like to do things with black people but don't want to support black people, and it's just so irritating to watch on TV. I'm so sorry. I didn't come to Love Island for this. I was like, to see this happen, it's like, oh my God. When you forget reality TV is like reality. Like, I'm sorry, girl, you're gonna have to get the bottom of the list, girl, because I just wasn't feeling a lot of the activities you were doing this summer. Okay, girl, I was not feeling it. Dasha, however they want to call you, girl, you're just getting pack your bags because I don't really remember you, right? Shelly. I did forget her existence in the show, honestly. I'm so sorry. I feel like out of the villa, I definitely remembered her. I feel like towards the end of the show, she definitely like made her impact on the show. But in the beginning, she was a very forgettable islander, right? I honestly feel like towards the end of the season with like Huda and Chris and all that drama, like that really kind of like cemented her in my brain personally. Why were we focusing on that too much? I didn't like that. I'm so sorry. But other than that, they kept talking about the heart rate challenge, right? And do I think Shelly was in the right in how she felt? Yes, I did. But also a part of me is like, why did she not, look at Ace a little bit like, why was you grabbing on that, Maybe she didn't see it. I don't know. But again, they're technically not together. They're in love, but not a couple, whatever that means, right? So I'm just like, And then I'm so sorry, but the whole Shelly and Huda about how Huda brought back Chris for Shelly, but also for her, that recording, that kind of cost you, Shelly. I'm so sorry. Yeah, there were other conversations. How many conversations do we have to see, girl? Regardless of that, I feel like she was okay to watch. Like, so I'm gonna put you in the middle category just because I'm like, you were there. I didn't really hate watching you. I definitely do think it's despicable the way that people have been treating her outside of the villa, right? For example, that whole thing with how BuzzFeed was like, we're gonna give you a knuckle sandwich or something. And then with overnight oats, and someone was like, oh, like work with Shelly, and they were like, we will never do that to Huda. That was weird. I really hate the way that they have been treating Nicolandria and Shelly, and I really loved that in the reunion yesterday. Nicolandria really defended the both of them. Also, I want to say, I didn't say this about Nicolandria, but one thing that I loved about her in the reunion was the confidence that she came in with, knowing that people were going to agree with her, right? You can tell in the villa that she wanted to say certain things, wanted to talk about certain things, but she felt like she couldn't, right? Because she is a dark-skinned woman against all these people, and you don't know how they're going to react, you don't know how the fans are going to react. But after she saw this love that she got and the support that she got and how people supported her, she was like, no, I'm not going to back down on this. And I loved watching that. That felt so good to see. That was my favorite part of the reunion, was seeing her know that she was in the right and that she wasn't crazy. I loved that. Amaya Papaya. She's cool, she's sweet, she's nice. I did enjoy her on the show. I loved her character overall, right? I feel like a lot of people focus on her and like Shelly, I like you forgot what happened. I don't know, after being removed from the show, like, living life and touching grass, there are so many little things I just forget happened in the show, right? And especially if they weren't addressed during the reunion, I'm not really going to like think about it, right? So post-season, I think she was cool. The girls have been wanting more content from you. A lot of people feel like she didn't deserve to win, but because of the situation that we were in, I completely understand why we were in that situation, right? So yeah, I don't have anything too negative to say about her. She cool, whatever, right? Oh yeah, Brian. Ooh, what this fell? Anyways, Brian, you're cooked. I'm so sorry. The lapse of judgment, I don't know. I understand people forgiving people for cheating, but I'm like, when 3 months ago you didn't know who this person really was, now we're gonna be like, oh, we just had like a lapse of judgment. I don't know. I feel like that is just going to be representative of the future if he's willing to cheat just so early, right? And it does look like he has a lack of respect for you in that regard. I don't know. I just don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I know, especially like on TikTok, there's like these conversations about like cheating and whatever, or like is it like the ultimate sin or whatever. And I guess like that's determined upon like, every couple or whatever. And cheating so early, that's crazy. And if I was correct, they did unfollow each other the day of the reunion. So it's safe to say that she's probably single. And you know what? I'm happy for her. She deserves that, right? She got a 50K. Should have been 100K, y'all. But that's what you get for sharing or whatever. But yeah, I think I'm gonna put her in. Actually, I'm gonna put her in my winners. Actually. I did really like me some Amaya, actually. So I'm gonna put her in my winners, y'all. Hannah. I do feel bad for Hannah just hearing about what happened to her like after the show and how I don't think she's watched the show back or whatever, and how she was like under her sheets crying. She was just so sad. And then to see that, your girl and your man link up or whatever, apparently that's ended, right? But that is disheartening, especially because you go on Love island and you're like, this is basically paradise, right? And then you get voted off in a very traumatic way of getting sent home, right? Like they had to all vote. It was crying. It was tears. Nobody felt good about it. I think it was incredibly funny that when Nicolandria saw the votes for how America voted and she was like, oh, so we actually made the right decision. Wild. But you're not actually wrong, Nicolandria. If I think about the show, do I really think about her at all? No. Again, I wasn't really a big fan of Charlie. Her and Charlie really didn't catch my attention. Her and Pepe didn't really catch my attention. So I'm gonna put her in you was close, cause maybe you were close to getting my attention. Maybe you were close. Why am I just realizing now that Jayla was not in the reunion at all? What the? Why was Jalen not at the reunion at all? I feel like he was. I don't really got nothing negative or positive to say about him. Well, I guess I got only positives. I guess Nicolandria didn't want him because he was like a truck driver or something. I don't know. Which I mean, I guess valid, but I think he's doing pretty well on social media right now. I think he was the first person to hit like over 1 million followers on TikTok or something. Like, I'll just put you at US close just because I don't feel like you did anything that bad, right? Like you weren't super negative. You just, got dealt some pretty unsavory cards. Now we're on to Iris. Iris was not must-see television in my opinion. I don't hate Iris, but I was a little bit bored during her scenes. I'm so sorry. I don't feel like her and Pepe were really in it for long game. I feel like it's one of those things where it's like, you're sexy. Oh, you're blonde. And they got together, Like, I don't feel like they're really interested. It felt like last, como se dice, last resort, right? Like, you're cute. You're gonna look good together. I can do this for a few more days, like a week or two. If they try to make it work, girl, was it gonna work? No, we already know. And I think they're already done. Are we surprised? No. Like, most relationships don't last forever, right? But it's like, dang, who is lasting here? I'll just put Iris at not feeling you because personally, she was not must-see TV. I don't know why, but when I think about Pepe, I just keep thinking about how he only goes for blonde because that's like his whole personality basically on the show, right? Other than being like Latino. I just saw this meme on Twitter of this girl and she was like, oh my God, Pepe is single. And she puts on a Hannah Montana wig. And that is just so funny to me. Cause it was like, he only goes for blondes. Other than you only going for blondes and knowing that like, so fun fact, actually really, really sad fact, while I was recording, it just stopped, the memory card got full. So we're talking about Pepe. I don't have anything else to say about him. So I'm just going to put him in the not feeling you cause you were not really must-see TV, Now, I didn't realize how long the video was actually getting. So I'm going to try to, fast track some of these people because some of y'all I don't really think deserve a lot of time. Like Austin, I'm sorry, not feeling you. Actually, you're going to the bottom row, pack your bags. Why were you even on the show, right? Who is this? Is this TJ, you were cool. There was really no purpose for you on the reunion. No offense. You do look like JD Vance. You're getting pack your bags, sorry. Andreina, honestly, she's cool. I'm gonna put her at my top 4 because I realized I didn't put anybody there, so it makes it look like I actually hate everybody. I didn't really hate her on the show, but I don't know, she is a little bit boring, and I understand why she did get voted off on the show, right? Of course, when you're watching the show and you like somebody, you're like, no, I don't want you to go. But sometimes maybe that plot has to get progressed, okay? So either you stay and us be bored, or you go and we get a little bit entertained. So you honestly understand why. And not gonna lie, after realizing how boring she really was, I do understand why she's never been in a relationship, right? And that's me not being shady. Like, yes, girl, you're gorgeous. I do think you have some personality, but overall, you were a little bit boring to watch. I'm so sorry, girl. And I feel like you were trying to be messy, and I don't feel like it worked, right? But yeah, I did enjoy her, but during the reunion, didn't really get anything else out of her. She's doing her little influencing thing, and that's cute. Now we're on to Zach with the C, pack your bags, cause I don't remember you. JD, you were actually incredibly irritating to watch. I'm so sorry. D dominant. I hate the way he talks. I hate the way he just everything's actually. And also the whole thing about him lying about being Puerto Rican, I just find that so funny. Honestly, that is probably my most positive take about him, is that you lying about being Puerto Rican is so deeply unserious. I'm from Puerto Rico. No, you're not. You are very much from, first of all, the mainland of the United States, and you're Haitian. Keep money the Puerto Rican flag in your Bible, not the Haitian one. What? You're not a proud Haitian. Anyways, he was not must-see TV. He was actually must not see TV. It actually irritated me that much. So I'm going to put him in pack your bags because, baby, the bags, they should have been packed a while ago. Also, you linking up with Yalissa? Yolissa? Miss I Love saying the N-word 5 billion times on podcast? You want to link up with her? You're stupid. I'm so sorry. That actually really irritated me. And I'm like, yeah, of course. Of course he's going to be with Yolissa. Of course he would, of all people. Ugh. I'm not going to lie. I kind of forgot about Jade. I feel like a lot of the Casa people, they weren't giving impact, right? And you know, that's kind of the point. That's kind of the point, I guess. So I'm going to put Jade in Pack Your Bags. Also, I do feel kind of bad for her, right? Because I think she tried to do something with Austin out of the villa, but of course he was not loyal. Also, Austin is so irritating talking about some. Actually, my booty count went down. It went down, actually. You're not funny. You're not funny, actually. I'm so sorry to tell you that. You're actually, I'm not laughing. And then him like basically dozing off, dang near falling asleep at the reunion. Get out of here. Grayson, I am so sorry. I forgot who Grayson was. I'll put you in Packing Bags, girl, because sorry, I forgot who you were. Coco. Coco is just too pretty to be on this type of mess. It just hurts my heart. Even last night, it was like, girl, even though I don't know how I feel with the lip action happening, but I'm like, girl, you are so beautiful. And you were out here looking like this, being like this. Nicolandria, I just wasn't feeling that. I just wasn't. Oh my God. Coco, please, it was supposed to be you. You're supposed to be the star. You're supposed to be the who we wanted to see more of. I feel like she might be on Love Island Games maybe, but I'm like, I don't know. Maybe she can get a redemption arc, you know, because I feel like people will tune into Love Island Games. I don't know, y'all. Actually, I don't want to put her in Pack Your Bags. I'm gonna put you in Not Feeling You, because Pack Your Bags is full. It is quite full. Chris, I'm just gonna put you in You Were Close. You were a victim of Hurricane Huda. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Also, yeah, if I were him, I wouldn't be messing with Hoodie either. And the whole thing about her reaching out 3 days before, she was like, I saw that, you know, all these people were being so negative to Chris in my FYP, so I was like, I had to go reach out and make sure he's okay. You know, all the time, girl. You want Alex Cooper talking mess? Girl, please. Don't piss me off, girl. Ugh. Yeah, I'm not the biggest Hoodie fan, if you could tell. Clark, at first I was not feeling you, but then I'm not gonna lie, you and Taylor together, it's cute, right? I really wish during the reunion yesterday would have talked about like what she commented when Alandria first walked into like the bedroom back when Alandria and Nick like had the whole recouple situation, which gave script. I'm so sorry. I was like the idea of her being voted off, then him being voted off, and then her being like, come in. They go into the car, production, please. Let's never do that ever again. I'm so sorry. I don't want to see any more of that. I don't. Because it felt so fake. And I get that you have to set up certain situations in a reality show, but at what point is it like, girl, you're doing too much? If it was like F-Boy Island, like that show gives trashy, it gives scripted. This gives more authentic, right? In my opinion, I feel like Love Island is a lot more authentic than F-Boy Island. So I'm like, don't do no F-Boy Island BS on my screen one more time. Don't do it at all. Don't ever do that again, Love Island. I'm irritated. But yeah, Clark is cute. Her and Taylor, they're cute, you know. Don't got much to say. I feel like she's really redeemed herself outside of the villa. That was nice. Her outfit last night wasn't like that cute. It was I'll put her in you were close, because honestly, in other circumstances, aka if you didn't really like do those comments to Alandria, which should have gotten addressed on the reunion last night, people would have probably loved you a lot more, right? But I mean, you're doing really well with what you have. Now we just have a trifecta of Casa boys left, and then a Casa girl. Zach with a K. I'll put you in You Were Close. You like, you wasn't really anything special in my opinion. I'm so sorry. Like, yeah, you're British, you got tattoos, yeah, you're a model like internationally, whatever, cool, whatever, right? Other than that, like, it's really given you were only on the show just to like, you know, get more publicity, right? Even though you had a following before, but you know, I feel like a lot of people usually have followings before they go on Love Island. Elan, again, I'm gonna put you in You Were Close, just because I feel like I haven't really seen too much bad stuff from you, honestly. I know you like to work. You don't really give me Love Island. I guess you can like end up becoming a corporate baddie influencer because you like to work. You like your 9 to 5. I don't despise him. I don't think he's anything like super bad on the show. Brian, pack your bags. You cheated. I feel like doing it so early, crazy. I have nothing else to say about you, actually. I don't want to. Then the last person we have is Vanna, Miss Utah, which I remember when she got on the screen, everybody was like, girl, the filler's crazy. Utah has really got to her. And if you know about Utah, they love some plastic surgery. They're like the state with the most plastic surgeries in the country or something like that, which makes sense. Vanna has been getting work done on her since she was like 16 because it's just so common in Utah, right? Sad. It is sad, actually. She said actually like nothing of substance last night, like nothing of substance. There's only so much that the cost people can do because they are cost people at the end of the day. I'm gonna put her at Pack Your Bags. And also outfit is in my top 4 just has one person in it. I'm gonna change that to have 4 people, right? I'll put Clark up there because I follow Clark. I follow Andreina. I guess I'll put Jeremiah. I don't know. I'll put Shelly and Ace there. I'll put them up there, right? Because I mean, they were the realest couple we had, you know, toward the end of the show. But yeah, that is basically it for this video. I'm taking the glasses off, girl. But thank you for watching my video. Hope you enjoyed it. Tell me how you feel about who I ranked on Love Island. Do you feel like what I said was pretty good observations? Do you think it was bad? Let me know. Come again. What am I trying to say? I just can't think. Anyway, subscribe, like, comment, or whatever that YouTube would be doing. Follow the TikTok while you still can, because TikTok is going to be going away soon, allegedly. Girl, I don't know, girl. I'm tired at this point. I'm confused. But yeah, bye, guys.